Everything's fine. Everything's fine, right? Right.
Beautiful, pretty good enough studios.
Right.
It's sunny Overland Park, California.
Hello. We're late, guys. We're late. We're very late.
That's how you can tell it's going to be a very special episode.
Hello. There we are. That's our two dials.
That works?
Yes. Cool.
I think we're about the right. Yeah.
Everything is fine. Did I set my phone down? I did. I did set my phone down.
Oh, no, your list of topics.
Say hello to people.
Hey, everyone. It's going to be an important week.
Yeah, it's going to be an important week because we won't have any viewers because nobody was warned that we would be late. And we are 30 minutes late.
No one was. It was a real escapade.
Yeah. But we're here. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the 25th episode of the Saturday Night live stream.
The special.
Welcome back to the 25th
special.
episode.
You're coming back. 25.2.
We had the first part of our 25th episode last week.
Yeah. Episode 25A.
We called it episode 25A. Part 24. I have messages from you. 506.
Good.
I'm in your house. Creepy.
Accurate.
McKinley Warwick, ladies and gentlemen.
Accurate. That's kind of my name.
In other news,
It's kind
McKinley,
of
do you ever feel haunted by memories of past mistakes? That's the other thing that was in my messenger box on my phone.
Yeah?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
sent to you, I can only
143.
assume, by one of your past mistakes.
Wow. You know who you are. It's been called out.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's okay.
Call
them out regardless.
But do you, though?
I don't know.
Not
It's
yet.
a good question. It's a good
Not yet.
conversation starter, don't you think?
No.
Why don't you have the conversation, not with them, not with me, but with the audience?
With the audience? Yeah. You comment below if you ever feel haunted by memories of past mistakes.
Ever.
Oh, I hate this sound. I hate that we have to turn the gain up so high on these mics. I love these mics a lot, but they are really susceptible to that whole, if you touch your mic stand at all, you get that wobble.
Yeah.
With a table.
We gotta be careful.
It's bad.
But we got labs.
We
got
do have
labs
labs.
incoming.
We do have labs that we could use, but these sound better.
I like these.
I like these a lot. Hello. I'm trying to pull up a way to monitor chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's
Cool.
one person watching already.
Cool. It's you.
It's not. It was before I clicked on it.
Nice. Well, hello,
Hey
viewer
there.
in the void.
It's got to be Brandis, right?
Brandis.
It's got to be.
We must have let Brandis down, though, by
It's either-
starting late this time
Yeah,
around.
I'm not sure if it is Brandis. I think Brandis might think that we're not doing anything tonight now.
Yeah.
It's got to be my dad or something. It's either
Forgivable.
Brandis or my dad. Those are the usual suspects, right? So, hello, whichever of you.
Hey, folks. The live viewers.
Yeah, we'll get
That's
to why
our-
we were late later.
That's our very special thanks to.
Oh, shit.
We
We've
would
got...
have a Patreon.
I always forget that we have subscribers, and so people
Yeah.
actually know when we do go online, because now it just jumped up from 1 to 3.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty
they got
sure
notified.
one of those is me
This
checking
makes
on
sense.
chat. But...
Sure.
So hey guys,
somebody's checking.
Yeah, no, we are doing things this week,
Yeah, this is the 25th special. We're
such
gonna make
as
it
talking about how we're
more
doing things
special
this
than
week.
ever. Yeah, I'm really
You see-
really throwing the wind in your sails here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's the 25th episode special.
I was gonna wear a suit.
Recorder the way to... Yeah, I was going to shower.
That's not too... That's not... At least the deodorant with no lid is off screen. Firmly
That's
out
very
of frame.
But still worryingly close to you. Enough
I keep
to
thinking about it.
draw
But if
questions.
it wants to bite, I don't know. It's dangerous.
Oh, God.
It
Let's
looks
see.
suspicious down there.
And I wrote down way too many topics. Here,
Yeah.
why don't you?
Here's a
look through
topic.
that?
Where's the lid? Where'd it go?
I always write down topics and then hate all of them, and so I
Yeah.
don't talk about any of them.
Where
And then other
is this?
people are like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." So I think that what should happen is that I write down all my topics, and then I just like have a way for everyone else at the table to look at whatever I wrote down, and they can decide what they want to talk about out of all of that stuff.
Nice, fair, unbiased trial
I guess.
by the people.
And then
Yeah,
they
that's
can
cool,
be
'cause
like,
you're
"Hey,
too
let's
close
talk
to
about
it.
this," and I can be like, "No."
Well, let's do a special segment this week.
Yeah.
I want to start off with our hooray.
You want to start off with what?
I want to start off with our favorite recurring segment. Who said you could stop?
Yeah.
Longtime viewers will know that the show is mainly comprised of complaints.
Yes.
They're often phrased
Mostly from the host, partially from the viewers. Like, why is it 2 hours? We heard you.
question.
And this week we're only doing an hour and a half.
How about that? How about that? Who says feedback
We'll
doesn't
probably end
make
up
a
doing
difference?
2 hours because we'll be talking about a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so to throw forward a little bit, we'll be talking about a movie, and in said movie, you notice something.
Yeah, so
You have strong opinions.
car manufacturers bring back put vertical tail lights back in your cars. They're good. They're great. It was a good aesthetic. They looked good.
Yeah.
We need more of it.
Where'd they go?
Do we sound good? Do we sound all right? I don't.
That's a good question. On our monitors, I think we're okay.
can't-
You want to listen
I
to the
think
stream
we're
a little
fine
bit?
on our monitors.
See-
What did I? Oh, I
see where
gave
that
you my
goes? Yeah,
phone.
that's
you know.
true.
These are all the things that you're supposed to do.
Sound checks.
Oh, we lost a viewer. We lost
Live
somebody.
on the air.
It's okay.
Don't
Guys.
stress it. Don't sweat it.
And then I hate all of them, and so I don't talk about any of them. And then other people. Yeah, that's fine. We're fine.
That's good.
Of course, we're all the way back there. Of course, they're tuning out. That's what we're talking about. And now we're talking about things. Now I'm talking about things. I'm still doing all the talking.
Yeah. Hand me your topics list again.
I'll
We're
hand
gonna
you
go.
the
We're gonna go
topics list
right
again.
into it.
Yeah. So yeah, who told you could stop vertical tail lights? Why did we stop doing that?
Yeah.
If anybody in the audience wants to Google why no more vertical tail lights, and then tell us, I'd be grateful. We don't have our producer in the studio,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
can't
that's
demand that things be Googled.
Yeah, we're a special skeleton crew episode of the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I'm here. I'm a little sick. Maybe you'll be able to hear. I'm sleep deprived. I'm ready to go.
But we don't give him sick days, so I told him you can either show up or don't bother coming back ever. So he's here.
Shockingly realistic. So this week on the show, we're going to talk about the phrase "sweet notes."
Sweet notes.
Sweet
okay.
notes.
What was I going? Where was I going with that?
Ever.
That's the other.
Does that
I've talked
mean
about this
anything to you?
problem on the show before, where I'll
you
write
totally
down,
remember.
I'll jot down a couple words in my notes app, thinking
Yeah.
I'll know what I meant,
Okay.
and then
Let's
the
do some
show comes
detective
in.
work. Okay.
I think I know. Oh yeah. Okay.
Notes that have been written to you.
Yeah.
That are sweet?
Yeah, they're the worst.
Wow. I got it.
They're fine. They're great, but I don't know. They're worrying. Whenever I start getting those, it's like, okay, something's wrong, right?
Interesting.
Suddenly, somebody feels like they have to be doing something. What's going on here? Or it's spontaneous and just nice and sweet. But
It
I
could
don't
be.
know. Is that the most probable reason for a note to be written?
Where
I
are
don't
these
think
notes
so.
showing
I think
up?
it's what?
Where are these notes
What are you trying
showing
to
up?
prove? Just around.
Okay.
That's the other thing. They're never given to you, right? They're always left somewhere.
Yeah,
They're always
it's
left
not
somewhere.
It's an engineered moment of discovery, right?
Right.
It's something like that.
Strange.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because we have 1,000 ways to communicate with each other.
And it's
today.
something you're not allowed to dislike. Right?
That's your ultimate final boss.
You
on
can't
the show,
object
right?
to
This
it.
is your big groundwork of your beef, right, with the world is something you're not supposed to object to.
Right.
It's going to be the main thing you end up objecting to.
Right, yeah. You're automatically a bad person if you say anything but thank you, yes, more of this, please, to X thing.
To a note writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
And, like, there's nothing wrong with the thing per se. And, like, any of the notes that I've ever gotten, I've never been like, oh, this is a terrible note.
You're not
They're always well
disappointed to
made.
read them.
Well,
Okay.
no, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I'm usually disappointed to read them because usually I'm like, okay, this person thought that their message wasn't getting through.
Really? Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right? Because that's,
Interesting.
I mean, why else?
So this is something you've heard.
Especially because it's like, okay, everything that you're writing, there's nothing that you're writing down that isn't something you've already said.
That hasn't been said. Yeah, exactly.
And so what? Do you think I'm not listening? Do you think that
Wow.
you have to put it here where you've got a captive audience of I'm having to get to the end of this piece of paper to know why it was
How long is this note?
under a pillow or in a pocket or in a closet or on a piece of cake?
Around.
Yeah.
What, a piece of cake? You're being served cake
never,
with a sweet note.
Never. I needed a weirder thing to say. That's not a request. That's not a suggestion. Don't put a note on a piece of cake. Bad idea. Terrible aesthetic. It just looks awful.
The two things you hate most in this world.
Cake and notes. And I'm all out of cake.
This is good because this is such a specific beef. It really is. Yeah.
No, but they're always a page, right?
A whole page.
A whole page.
Right.
Usually they're a whole page.
It's not like a two-word
Rarely they're
slogan.
multiple pages.
Okay. This is a letter.
Yes.
You're being written letters.
Yes.
Okay. They
Right.
signed.
Not always.
Okay.
They're never signed by a name. It's always a. That's the other thing. It's always like
XOs tacked on
some pet, like a pet name or something that
Okay.
it's signed as,
Yeah.
which is also the worst because there is no better way to ruin a pet name than to make somebody read it cold on a piece of paper. You know, because then you're just looking at it and it's like, this is kind of a silly thing to call
reevaluate
somebody.
that.
Why did we settle on this? Is this a good idea?
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a good idea on paper.
This is making you reevaluate the whole thing.
On
Look
paper.
at that. On paper. Not good.
But
And you're taking them as passive aggressive.
not passive
moves.
aggressive. No, I'm not thinking that they're consciously passive aggressive.
Sure.
But I'm thinking, okay,
They're
at some
pushing
point
toward
in the back of
things.
your head, you thought that it was necessary to write these things down.
that have already been.
I'm not
told
saying
to
that
you.
it's because you're consciously thinking something's wrong or that I'm not listening to you, but I think something's wrong at the point that you're writing things for reasons other than necessity. Like, sure, if you're going on a trip and you have to and you're leaving notes to be like, oh, they'll find these while I'm gone and it'll be
Sure.
cool. It's like I'm still there to say things to them even though I'm gone. That's fine. That's acceptable. But if you're seeing this person in less than 12 hours, why?
Because it's a new and novel method of expressing something.
well-
To most people, it would be affection. Apparently, it's
Right.
apparently it's a mandate of some kind.
Well, yeah, because also it's like, okay, am I supposed to be writing notes now too? Is this a new? Are we?
There's
are we building a
expectation,
new?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
That's what you have to be worried about.
right. And you can't ask that question because if you ask that question, the answer is going to be no, whether that's the case or not. Right. Right? If you say, hey, am I supposed to be writing you notes now too?
Yeah.
The answer is definitely going to be, no, of course not. You don't have to do anything. I just wanted to do something sweet, whether that's a bald-faced lie or not.
Who hurt you?
Nobody. Yeah, no. But yeah, no. Notes.
Maybe nobody who was trying to, but yeah.
Just stop writing notes to people. Just stop.
It's the
Just
21st
cut it out.
century.
Yeah. We invented text messaging.
Yeah. What if you're in a scenario where
Unless
you
you're
need
like
to
a
be passed
calligrapher.
note, it's completely silent wherever you are.
Yeah. I don't know. But thank you to anyone who ever wrote a note to me.
There you go.
They've all been great.
It's too late. We already have 0 viewers.
Yeah. Regardless of how I feel about
someone
the
heard
note,
the first part.
it is objectively a good note.
Maybe.
I just dislike them.
Maybe not. Yeah. You just seem to disagree with the function of
Have
them.
you ever received a note? Has anybody ever written you a note?
Well.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Yeah, no, yesterday I was reading a page of text that had been written to me one time, and we were laughing pretty hard. Because it was... Yeah, it wasn't anything that I'd already been told. It wasn't anything affectionate. It was just like something somebody wrote for me.
Oh, yeah. Take the trash out, please.
Nah, my friends are weird, man.
Okay.
You underestimate how weird my friends are.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't have a particular beef with like, this is...
I don't know.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Maybe if I felt obligated to write notes back and then felt resistance to obligation to write notes back, then it would be personal, right?
I think it's just because maybe it's just I can't process like a healthy note because I feel like the more unhealthy a relationship is, the more likely that there's a lot of notes that have been written.
Interesting.
And so that doesn't mean that there's no notes written in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But it does mean there's
just,
more in it.
When you brought up the
one.
subject, I'm used to thinking of it as like quippy post-its, you know?
Right.
Like
yeah. No, these are pages
slogans.
long. Exactly. Yeah. No, these are
multiple pages.
Some have been. I mean, notes might be the wrong term. It's
okay.
letters. It's letters, right? I mean,
letters.
if it's a full page or more, is it a letter?
I'd say.
Okay, then they're letters.
That's pretty good.
Not good. No.
That's formal.
Well, and also it's like, oh, gross. Why?
Then it's an obligation, right?
It is kind
then
of an obligation.
I could put whatever
it makes
I
you
want on a
feel like
Post-it
an
note.
obligation. It's like, really? You felt like this was how much you had to write?
Mm-hmm.
Gross. What?
And on paper, no less.
Yeah, why? I don't want to occupy that much of somebody's attention span. Why? Why would you? No.
Yeah, no, it's that weird feeling you get when you get attention.
Yeah.
You kind of like shrivel
like,
or
what's
recede
going
from
on?
it. Like, what's your game?
Especially with a note where you can't reciprocate immediately because there's nothing there.
Sure.
There's nobody there. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
You're just sitting across from a piece of paper that likes you.
And you have to come to terms with that.
Yeah,
all on your own.
You're right. It's dumb.
Within 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
All right. I'm not gonna exhaust you with this any longer.
Okay.
We're
You don't
gonna
have
hit the
anything
next-
no notes on that? No thoughts on notes? No notes on thoughts? No notes on letters about thoughts?
I mean, you're in an unprecedented situation.
Okay.
It's letters.
I thought it would be
It's
precedented.
letters.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But just,
Anybody out there who doesn't like having letters written to them, please comment.
yeah,
So
please.
that I feel like less of a bad person. Not a bad person, just less. Or that I feel like there's more bad people out there. That's always a comforting
balance
thought.
yourself out. That's good. Is this? Do we have the second seat over here or over there? Okay.
We have a microphone. Yeah, hold on.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a seat behind
We have
me.
a guest incoming, folks. We're going to talk about another classic topic of yours: podcasts in bed, sleeping through coffee arrangements. The sequel to Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to
And
think
crack.
of where that. Yeah.
Please welcome to the 25th special,
It's Nate.
Nate,
How's it going, Nate?
good friend of the show.
You know, talking to your mic so I can make sure your levels are right.
Talk. I can't hear.
No,
Oh,
nothing.
dear.
It was there a second ago. Did you smack it too?
Do it again.
Talking. Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
Hello.
5,
6.
there it is.
Wonderful.
Much better.
Hello.
We're going to find the balance.
Yeah, I was pretty loud there for a second.
You were pretty loud there for a second. I think you're where you should be now. Go ahead and go again.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
There we go. I feel like that's good.
Welcome to the show, the regular Nate.
Do you dislike receiving
Here with the
notes,
phone.
Nate? Have you ever received a note
It depends.
from a person? Like a piece of paper with writing on it addressed to you.
A piece of paper with writing addressed to me.
I could
Yeah.
intervene, but I want to let this play out.
Either received in the mail or left somewhere to be discovered.
I don't think I mind getting a note.
Okay. Interesting.
What if it's really long?
It doesn't just feel terrible.
If it's from somebody that I like and it has nice content, then no, I don't mind.
Okay, fair enough. Do you feel obligated to return to create a note if you receive a note?
It depends on the note.
Okay.
It depends on the circumstance.
Interesting.
The content.
Yeah, it's all about the content. But yeah, no, podcasters in beds sleeping through coffee arrangements.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I want to make a formal apology to my mom for bailing on coffee last week.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, no, I was sleeping. Your assumption is correct, probably. I'm assuming that you assumed that I was asleep, and yeah. Also, I got a boom mic, and I wrote that down, I think,
Also
last week, because I figured out that if I wanted to, I could record a podcast or a live stream in my bedroom without having to get out of bed. I could just have a setup where I could just wake up and immediately be making content, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Is that
I could have
related? Is
what?
that after you woke up and you were like, oh, I missed a coffee arrangement?
Yeah, kind of, because yeah.
You're like, what if I just did podcasts?
Yeah, no, it's a bad topic. This is why, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea to hand other people things, because then they're like, oh, this sounds interesting. It's not.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
We can work through the whole thing. We can work through all the
This is
topics.
true. There's too many. There's a
world.
lot of topics there.
Okay. Well, this one's got to be a surefire hit.
Okay, I like this game. This one's got to be good, right?
There's a diamond in the
Right.
rough here, folks. It's the one time I went running and inspired another runner.
Oh no. Yeah. This was a thing that I wrote down
folks.
way too late at night on way too much caffeine, thinking it would be a fun thing to talk about, and it's not.
As one does.
Similar to the tangent about notes, the moral of the story is I've scarred myself through acting unhealthily in unhealthy relationships. But
Spoiler.
so you ever meet other joggers while you're out jogging?
No.
No? Yeah. Me either, because I don't go jogging. But the one time that I happened to be running in
There was a
public-
period of time where I did jog.
Okay.
But it was at 5:30 in the morning, so no, I didn't really encounter people.
Well, this was at 3 a.m.
Wow.
I was
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Because you seem to be drawing a distinction between jogging and running.
well,
If you
yeah,
see
okay. I
someone
wasn't
bolting
jogging.
down the street at 3 a.m., do you think they're jogging or do you
Here's
think
the
they're
thing.
running?
Yeah, that's part of the story.
Okay.
Because I was running.
Yeah.
The other guy was jogging.
Okay.
He thought that I was out jogging.
I would not assume that.
Yeah, maybe I just run very casually or something. I don't know. But I was in a state of distress running because I had just had a really toxic fight with somebody at a Walmart, and it ended with me walking out of the Walmart and saying, I'll just walk home. I'm done with this. And being like, okay, we've already checked out. The bags are in the car. You don't need any like help that I would be able to give at this point. You can take the bags home and all that in the car, and I'll just walk home. Everything's fine. So I'm walking home, and then I get a text saying that the person that I've been arguing with has abandoned the car and is planning to just go sleep under a bridge because that's a normal thing to do.
I have abandoned the car and I am going to sleep under a bridge.
Yeah,
That will be all.
So I turn around and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out where this person is. And so I'd better make it back to this Walmart parking lot while they're still within view of somebody standing in the Walmart parking lot. And so I'm booking it back to the Walmart, and I have a Chekhov's gun moment where I'm running. I look across the street and see this guy jogging. And we like share this weird across the street awkward eye contact while neither of us stops what we're doing. And I'm just still running full
Opposite
tilt.
directions.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that guy looks like he's having a peaceful evening. That'd be nice. And so, long story short, I catch up to this person who had abandoned the car. I say, look, there's frozen things in the car. One of us at least needs to go back to this car. We should probably both go back to this car now that we're both acting out. We might as well just both kind of be like, okay, let's table all of this energy for until we've gotten our
Think of the pizza.
perishable
Think of the
foods that
pizza.
we've both invested money into a
The
freezer,
frozen
and then
pizza.
we can
Not
go
the mochi.
and then we
Oh, I
can
have
Rather
mochi at
than
home.
sleep under a bridge, why don't we make sure the mochi does not ferment?
yeah, and then we can
Hey.
and then we can both
How this develop? This is
and then we can both go sleep under separate bridges. I'm having this conversation. We're having this conversation in a much less straightforward way than is being presented here with each other on a sidewalk.
As one does when
Yeah,
you're
maybe.
emotionally distraught.
Yeah, maybe an eighth of a mile away from the Walmart parking
Okay.
lot.
Can I ask how recent of a conversation this is?
Several years ago. I'm in
Okay,
Lawrence.
yeah,
I'm
just
in
for some idea
Lawrence.
of who you are at the time.
Yeah, we're on Iowa Street for anybody who's curious. I think.
Iowa Street.
It's whatever street that Walmart's on. If you know, you know. Going toward 5th.
This week's show brought to you by
Iowa
Walmart
Street.
on Iowa Street.
This
If you
week's
know, you know.
This week's show brought to you by Google Street View.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yeah. But anyway, while we're having this conversation, I hear the sound of jogging footsteps. And
You've met the person back in the parking lot now. Is that right?
we're not in the parking
Okay.
lot, but I've met the person. I've caught up to the person.
Oh, okay.
And we're
You found them.
yeah,
the street.
figuring out what to do with our food / emotions. And then I hear these jogging footsteps. And I kind of look behind us, and I see the guy that I had seen jogging, and he's jogging a little faster. And he like yells across, and he's like, "You inspired me to extend my run." And I'm just like, "Hey, cool, man." And he's like, he's like all happy, and like judging off his face, he has no idea what he's running past. Like he's still just completely oblivious to what's going on. He assumed that I was
An
just out
early
for a
morning
run.
jogger.
Yeah, and then he's just assuming that I'm having a pleasant conversation with somebody.
Had to run to have this conversation with a person.
Right? Yeah.
You were looking forward to it.
Yeah, and so
For sure.
yeah, and
Post-haste.
so we have like a quick conversation about running that I'm completely BSing my way through because I don't know anything about running, and he's talking about
What?
running and like
He
how close he is
interrupts
to
your
getting his
personal life
second
for
wind.
this?
Endorphins.
And endorphins and things like that. And I'm like, the endorphins. And he's like, well, I got to get back to it. And I'm like, all right, buddy. And he's like, I'll see you out there. And I'm like, all right. And then I turn around and keep having this argument at 3 a.m. with my significant other.
Anyway, ice cream.
Yeah.
It melts.
Right.
And it's in their trunk.
There was
Sleep under
actual
a bridge,
ice
if you
cream.
will, but think of the cookies and cream. You're a master negotiator, is
Not
what
in-
you are. You start on some mutually agreeable turf,
No.
and then you work your way inward.
Oddly enough, though, the presence of that jogger coming back and addressing both of us like snapped the other person out of their whole momentum of emotion and got them to. So briefly after that, we actually both went back to the car, drove home. The ice cream was okay. All of our food was fine, and
Connected momentum.
it took a whole another 7 months for us to break up. So it was great.
Wow.
There you go.
Amazing. They can
But
really
yeah,
put a
no, it
Band-Aid
was
on a
weird.
stranger's relationship.
Right? Yeah.
Another
yeah.
happy landing.
through ignorance. It's good.
So that's instant karma, the good edition.
Right,
You
right.
inspired him. He
Yeah.
like clubbed you in the side of the head with naive positivity.
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was a weird night.
Yeah.
Morning. Yeah.
Jogging blood.
It's a hell of a story.
3 a.m. jogging bro.
Yeah. Well, and he was
You
like
know who you are.
at least in his 40s. He was yeah.
You don't have to be a young person to be a bro.
This is true. Yeah, but he had more of a corporate vibe to him than a bro-y vibe. It was weird.
Interesting.
Corporate jogging. 3
Yeah.
a.m. bro.
Right. It was strange.
That was a good story.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you have any weird running stories, McKinley?
One time I tripped. It's pretty exciting.
That's crazy.
That sucks.
That does.
That
Did you
sucks.
recover or did you fall?
When you trip, you fall,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can always get back up again.
I have
That's
a
what we learned
vivid
this week
memory
on the
of
show.
being in a park as like a 4-year-old and running on a sidewalk and then tripping and scraping my knee and it being very terrible.
Wow, nice. Yeah, something very similar.
It's a very
me.
specific situation.
Yeah.
And like after that was the first time I had scraped my knee.
Ever?
I think
Yeah, to your memory anyway.
It was a big moment. It was a big scraping my knee moment. Watershed
Something very
moment
similar
for
imprinted on
scraped
me.
knees.
I think that's not a coincidence. I think when you have a little baby trauma, it works out like that, you know? Just like your first brush with your own mortality, basically. I had a discolored spot on my foot for a long time because it was skinned off running on concrete too fast. Not enough shoes.
Yikes!
You just ran too fast?
Yeah.
Gotta
You were
go
running-
fast.
Shit was setting on fire as I
Wow.
passed it.
So you know how when you're a kid, you have sandals a lot? You have sandals, right?
Sure.
Yes.
You know how the bottom of those sandals sometimes will start to... For some reason, the bottom of sandals are comprised of two parts. There's the bottom of the sandal that makes contact with the ground, and then there's the bottom of the sandal that makes contact with your foot. And there's like a layer of glue between these two things, right?
Yes.
Cheap
And
glue.
so the longer you own these sandals, inevitably, when you're a kid, you'll have a pair of sandals that, like, from the toes back, slowly, it begins to, it grows a mouth. It starts to open up, right? And there's a window of time between when that damage starts to occur and when you get new sandals, right? So there's a small amount of time where you just have sandals that make weird clapping noises whenever you're walking. And if you're extra unfortunate, you'll be taking a step and that bottom layer will fold under your foot and then propel you forward.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like tripping, but weirdly different and kind of spring powered. And
It's a
you
super
just get propelled face forward toward the ground, right?
Converse shoes do that too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I remember
Falling apart.
you talking about having a memory of being 4 in a park triggered a memory of mine of being 4 in a hotel cafeteria. And I'm getting my food and I'm wearing sandals. And I've got this plate of food.
Oh no.
And I'm speed walking. I'm walking quickly
You
because
gotta,
I want
you
to
gotta
eat this food.
It's so yummy.
Yeah, and I'm rounding a corner and I step wrong.
Oh no.
And I get propelled forward and I just face plant. And that's uncomfortable enough. But then I look up to see my plate still in the air. And it makes contact with the ground and shatters into a million pieces in front of my face. And I just see my food tumble onto the floor. And I'm 4.
It's the worst thing to ever happen to
And
you.
I stand up and I quickly run around the buffet booth, grab a new plate, and put some new food on it, and then round the corner like nothing ever happened.
Okay, so had it been me in that situation, as a 4-year-old,
Okay.
that's when I would have started crying.
Yeah, no. If you start crying, they know that you've done something.
Yeah.
But
You're going to be on the hotel's most wanted
you see,
list.
Right. Can't look guilty.
That's why I'd be crying, because I'm
Right.
on the most wanted list.
I don't want to end
Yeah.
up in a
You've
suspect
done something
lineup.
bad.
No. Tears are a sign of weakness. You gotta
never
look casual.
claimed.
You gotta look casual, Nate.
I was 4.
I was 4, and I knew
So
I
to our
had to act
in this
casual.
hypothetical situation. I was just 4 years old, Taylor.
No, that's understandable. I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do, because you're also a crying kid. You're not gonna get in trouble. Nobody's gonna be mad at a crying kid
it's
in
the
front of a
it's the best
smashed plate of
defense.
food.
It's the best defense.
Yeah.
We don't know it, but it's the best defense.
Right.
At the time.
But I didn't know it. So I was like, I gotta look like a kid who didn't just drop a plate of food.
Yeah. Yeah, and your strategy was to run in the same shoes.
Very
that
quickly.
got
Yes.
you into this.
Yeah. I was being very conscious of making sure, okay, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Don't. Yeah.
Try not to land weird. That's crazy.
I'm sure somebody saw what happened. Because I also know that
Are you saying
I
you
didn't
never
look
took the
around to
heat for
check.
this?
No, I didn't.
What?
No, I got some food. I went, I
Wow.
sat down, I ate breakfast with my parents and my grandmother, and everything was fine.
So they're sitting over there. They're eating. They hear a giant crash,
yeah.
and then later you show up.
They could have
Yeah.
they could
Well,
have
in
known
your-
the whole time. I
In your
don't
story,
know.
you face planted. Your face hit the ground.
Yeah.
You looked up. The food was still in the air.
Yeah.
So in this
If
hypothetical
Andy's in the
situation,
chat, please
please
let us know.
What's
Yeah,
going
let me
on?
know if you remember that
You
and if
saw
you
that.
knew that happened or not. We're at the Doubletree Hotel, I'm pretty sure.
Amazing.
It was weird. Yeah, I know. But, yeah. Tripping.
Wow. There you go. That's our regular segment. Stuff I remember.
Yeah. Weird memories.
Uh,
And then 14 years later, I would inspire a jogger by
Those are
not
good
tripping
running
while running.
stories.
Yeah, that was part of how I learned to
Solid.
run so well.
based on necessity.
Yeah,
You ran so that no one would see you.
I only run based on necessity, McKinley.
Yeah. You can't be bothered. You can't be inconvenienced to run otherwise.
Yeah.
You don't just run because you're
I
excited.
mean, I only
maybe.
run when inconvenienced. Is also what that means.
Sure.
Like, because I need to save the food in the trunk of my car. Bonus points my relationship, or because I need to escape the heat for breaking a plate of food. Basically, that's it. That was what was gonna make you quit.
I quit the show.
Now you've
forever.
lost faith
No,
in
I'm
me.
not doing another one of my famous McKinley Walks bits. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm not going to do one of my famous McKinley Walks bits. I'll be right back.
How are you doing, Nate? How's your week been?
Say something once. Why say it again?
Because somebody didn't hear
Say
you.
something once. Why say it again? I'm doing fine.
That's good. Got any? Do you have anything you've been burning to talk about other than Mulholland Drive, which we're going to get to?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I'm itching to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we started the show late because I slept in, but I still wanted to watch the movie, so we watched it.
Cool.
And then got
Good.
here at 8:30.
Good. Oh, wow.
exciting.
So you just started. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just started, man.
Nice. Well,
I really should get some sleep later tonight, though. So
I guess-
just, so you know, just to tip you off, I probably will try and hop off stream at 10
Gotcha.
because
That's okay.
Some nights you need it,
That's chill.
I agree.
and I'm always
do.
here too late.
I do the same.
Okay.
Well, what?
I'm just checking on chat to see if there's
I see.
anything going
Just
on.
in case.
So, Taylor, you've mentioned you've listened to Night Vale before.
I have listened to Night Vale before.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
listened to Night Vale before?
Yeah, that
McKinley?
came up last week. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We did impressions.
Yeah. Amber did a really good Cecil.
Dude, it
Oh,
was
man.
great.
The Cecil Baldwin
Anyway,
of our show.
this has nothing to do with Night Vale, only tangentially related to Night Vale. One of the artists they feature semi-regularly, as in they've been on there more than once, is Doomtree. I don't know if you're familiar with Doomtree.
You recommended Doomtree to me. That's how I got into
the
it.
name. I do not know. I don't know it though.
Well, they've been on the show.
Okay.
What would you say their genre is? It's
Is there a weather
it's-
segment?
They're a rap group.
They're rap. Yeah.
Pop. Yeah, but it's a group.
Gotcha.
That's kind of.
I'd never really listened to them other than that. Just like, hey, I really like this band, and I listened to some of the songs again, and then I never touched it again. I listened
Really?
to one of their albums on the way home today, and it was just,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
it's good.
You getting
They're
into
so
it?
good. I'm
That's so
probably
wild.
going to listen to their discography now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, get into it.
I'm gonna do a famous McKinley Walks bit real quick.
Okay. That's it. Say I quit the
There's
show.
a purpose to it.
I quit the show. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's funny because now I'm actually remembering like the context of how I heard of Doomtree again. It was you recommending it to me right after I had done a freestyle rap in front of you.
Yeah.
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 You were like,
Doomtree. It's
McKinley?
good.
Doomtree.
I listened to let me
One word.
I listened to No Kings, the album No Kings by
That's cool.
Doomtree. It's a good album. It's a really good album.
That's wicked cool. Yeah. What's her name? Dessa? Dessa, I think, is one of the artists in the group. And she's got, solo music as well. And I don't know if you know about this. The Night Vale, like half of the Night Vale creators, Joseph
Fink.
There we go. Yeah. He is...
Jeffrey Kramer.
Yeah, one of those guys. Yeah. Joseph Fink, I think, is starring in another podcast on the network called I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats. You hear about that?
No.
Oh, I love it. He's talking to Jonathan Darnielle of the Mountain Goats about whatever. But also on the show they have covers of each song that they discuss from just various artists. And in that mix, this is a long story, but in that mix, Dessa does a cover of this Mountain Goats song.
Wow.
She's part of the family. She's part of the Night Vale family. Now you know.
Interesting.
It's a Night Vale Presents podcast or whatever, but I like it a lot. It's very laid back. I like John. And now I like Joseph Fink. Yeah, if you get a chance, you can listen to that.
Cool.
Maybe listen to the Mountain Goats first. I don't know.
I've never really listened to the Mountain Goats. I've heard they've come up so many times. It's a part of the Venn diagram that is Blazeball. So
Gotcha.
Interesting.
It's the target. It's in the same target demo. So I assume I'll probably like them at some point.
That's cool. That's wicked cool. So speaking of music. It's yet another week, yet another book club, our segment where we go listen to an album and then
regularly.
Go back.
Yes, very regularly,
faithfully.
Regularly.
We always take a crack at it. Okay, we always try,
and we never don't listen to anything.
But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the album because we all listened to it, right?
We did all listen to it.
Yay!
I'm about to do a spit take.
McKinley didn't listen to it.
Yeah, I'm the plot twist surprise villain.
Have you listened to it
right now? Yes.
Good.
Yes, indeed.
Let's recap. What did we listen to? What's the name of the album? I have to look it up every time because
Dead Cities, Red Seas, and Lost Ghosts.
That's it.
By M83.
Yes.
Yeah. So you described their style as soundscapey.
I did describe it as soundscapey.
Yeah,
I think that's
fairly accurate. Electronica.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early 2000s electronica.
Yeah, which is pretty
indie electronica. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's a real uniform sound across the album, but actually I think one of the major things that struck me on that first listen to though was the contrast that would come up between these songs. It would I don't know, I guess the visual analogy would be it's the same color palette.
Yeah.
And yet you can paint things that are completely different. You recognize instruments, you recognize sonic profiles and that kind of thing. But there are these little jumps from song to song that make you question, is this the same genre?
It's good.
Yeah, it's my go-to, I'm kind of doing something, but I want some music that's kind of upbeat, but also really chill at the same time. That won't it's good music for that.
That's cool. Yeah, it's
It's
not
good for
energy
that.
It's my
in the
study
form of
music.
pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Taylor,
Hmm?
first impressions?
It was good. I liked it. It had more words than I was anticipating, but then it had fewer words than I was anticipating once I heard words.
There you go. Yeah, your expectation just making moves.
The music was good though. I liked it. I especially liked "In Church" and "On a White Lake Near a Green Mountain." Those were probably
That's
my
cool.
two favorite tracks from the album.
Yeah.
You have a favorite track, McKinley, or favorite tracks?
Let's see. I really kind of like the first one. That one sticks out to me. I wanted to talk about it. It's like
Birds?
Yeah, it's like 50 seconds of just welcome to the show, and that's interesting to me.
It's funny. I always skip that track.
Yeah, it's not really, I just talked about a kind of consistency through the album, but this is kind of just like sound. This is kind of, yeah. When it's the first track and it is 50 seconds long, it's kind of an introduction here. Shout outs to our viewer, Victoria, who last week tuned in time to see technical difficulties and leave.
Right.
And
yeah.
who this week tuned in to watch. How's it going?
Cool.
Wait, there's the camera. How's it going?
Hello.
Yeah. We're talking albums. This
Like
is good stuff.
this one's kind of a hard. I now that we're talking about it, I realize it's kind of a hard one to talk about because it's
difficult to discuss
it's
music
like-
that doesn't have
it's
lyrics or overt themes or subject
it's like
matter.
you have a palette knife and you're mixing a bunch of blues and reds and yellows, and then you just kind of smear it across the canvas. That's what this album is. That's what this album is.
Not a lot of borders.
No. Yeah.
That's, I think, a good way to describe it.
Except for the content of any overt themes or lyrics or subject matter.
It's a beautiful album, and we definitely. I
It was good.
recommend
I
it.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I do want to listen to more of M83 stuff because that's like their second album that they ever
Yeah.
released, and
Yeah.
they have a long discography.
In my opinion, it's their best album.
okay.
Like all of their stuff is really
Oh,
good,
no.
but that one is their best.
Oh, no.
In my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, find the one that fits you.
That just worries me. If
I don't
they
know if
peak
it's
in the
my
second
favorite,
album
though.
and they have like 12 albums.
Yeah.
No, don't
it's personal.
don't get me wrong. I do
That's
love
not
all
the way
of
to
their
take
stuff,
it.
but I
Okay,
think
good.
that's, in my opinion, it's their best.
Fair enough.
That's
But
cool.
when I say an album is their best album, I don't mean that's my favorite album. Like
Gotcha.
that can be different.
Really? So what's your favorite
Yeah.
album by M83?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
Nice.
I really love their first album. Like some of the songs on their first album are amazing, but probably Saturdays Equals Youth is my favorite album.
Okay.
It's the emo
I'll
album.
probably listen to that
The
one next
email
time.
album.
Emo.
Emo. Okay.
I wanna- which
I thought
one's
there was
the
a
email album?
notorious
Is there an
story
email
there
album?
where it was found in an email
that's-
or something.
That's Hurry Up We're Dreaming.
Okay.
That's the one with Midnight City, which is they're probably their most popular song, or at least it was until Junk came out. And
Gotcha.
I think a lot of those songs got more popular,
I
but
think Junk was the most appealing album title when I was scrolling down.
Junk is
I was
really
like, Oh, that looks artsy.
I enjoy Junk.
Yeah. That's very...
It's different from their normal sound. I would listen to some of their earlier, like Work Forward.
Gotcha.
That way you could, I like to look, when I'm listening to a new artist, I like to start near the beginning and work forward so I can hear the evolution of their sound.
That's
But,
cool. That's cool.
That's just me.
You ever get disappointed by an album because like an artist that you are following like is getting healthier? And you're like, wait, this isn't what I signed up for.
What's going on?
I get what you mean. I
Shout
get
out
what
to
you
I
mean.
don't
K-Flay.
listen to K-Flay because I
Yeah.
like mental health.
Yeah, I don't
I know
don't
you're
sign up to
talking.
listen to K-Flay to hear a song called "I Like Myself" most of the time.
That's good. That's so good.
I listen
'Cause,
for Black Wave and So Fast, So Crazy, and
Et cetera.
Hollywood Forever doesn't belie the subject matter, so it's a hard one to be like songs like this and have people that haven't heard the song know what you're talking about. But like, yeah, you go from Hollywood Forever to Sister, and it's like, what?
Yeah,
Why?
I feel you.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
But I like Sister. I like
Did
some
you
of the
listen to
later
Solutions?
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solutions
This is,
was good. It was a good album. But
one of our, this is kind of intertwined with one of our more fundamental music stories, I guess, where
Okay.
you and I, in some, I don't know, I think it was in the old studio, right over there. We were sitting around, we were talking about this, we were barking at each other. We may have been a little bit drunk, and you said, listen to K-Flay, man, you have to. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'll check it out. And you're like, no, the whole discography.
Right.
I'm like, okay. And then you said something that, you thought would be appealing to me and would would balance out this impetus of you telling your friends what to do.
Oh
You
yeah, I said that I'd listen to
the whole discography of K-Flay, and then you'd listen to the whole
those
discography
guys, the
of
cartoon guys,
Gorillas.
Gorillas,
The
yeah.
Gorillas.
The cartoon guys.
The
You
cartoon
just said
guys.
that, and I was like, Does he know what he's talking about right now? Is he gonna remember what's going on?
No, which I did.
And then I slammed my hand into yours, and we did a handshake, and we were like, okay, that's that.
The Gorillas are fun.
Yeah. And so I went off and listened through the discography.
And 3
you
months
know,
later, so
pretty
did
much
I.
back to front. Good to hear.
It was
Yeah.
sooner than that, but practically.
But yeah, leading right into what you were saying, something that I find can be big for me is understanding the artist
yeah.
to appreciate the art, right? That's classic. That's
Oh, yeah.
classic. And especially with hip hop and rap can get really like confessional and can get really I think it's part of the genre to understand if not the person that's making the art, the character that's making the art, or who, whatever.
Right.
Context means a lot. So listening through K-Flay, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm enamored with your sound. You're all right, that's cool. But just that prompt of listen through the whole discography, I wound up doing it back to front. It became kind of personal, kind of fast, that I knew this artist. I knew them from when they had this like cheaper, more indie sound, and they, developed the persona, and they developed their how they present as an artist and what kind of stories they want to tell. That tracks, that develops, it goes to these dark places, and for it to come back around on Solutions, for it to, it's like how movies work. If you've been sitting in place for 3 hours watching someone struggle and go forward, no, everything's their point of view and it's their story and they're the hero of it. When they get that thing they always want at the end, you want to cheer. I wanted to cheer for K-Flay.
Yeah, so did I. It was good. It was the most split I've ever felt listening to an album because you've gotten to know this person. And also, I got into K-Flay like 2 years before Solutions releases, and so I've been listening to all of the other stuff that she's done for the saga. Years leading up, and then Solutions comes out and it's like, oh, she's okay now, that's great. And so you're really happy for this person, but also just you're not into any of these songs, and you're like, I'm happy for you. Goodbye. It's like, well, maybe there's hope. Maybe she'll get super depressed by the time she's doing her next album. But and then I'll be super sad for her and really happy for my listening experience. It was interesting. Not in California anymore is still a really fun song. Anyway, M83, which I also want to listen to more of them because that's very much how I listen to music in general. Is I'll run into music that lets me know, oh, I like this person's sound, and then my next couple months is just absorbing every single thing that they've ever put out into the void.
I like their first album. It's a little less focused, but it has some good tracks on it. Like there's a few on here that have there's 3 different old B sci-fi movies that they take samples from.
That's cool.
Like there's
always a fan.
my favorite track, Facing That, has a sample from It Conquered the World.
Wow.
It's really great. It's really great. Before the Dawn Heals Us, that one's a little more focused. It's closer to Dead Cities.
Gotcha.
Digital Shades is full ambient. You could go to sleep listening to this. It's extremely relaxing. Yeah. Saturdays Equals Youth is very emo.
Yeah.
Very emo. Hurry Up, We're Dreaming is the haha, we're popular now album. Gotcha. And Junk is electropop. It's good. Yeah. And then they also put out, I don't have it on my phone, but they put out Digital Shades Volume 2, and it's the music you hear right before you're about to fall asleep.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking at the album cover and title of Junk, and I was like, I haven't listened to any of this yet, but it strikes me as the kind of music I would want to have in my headphones while I'm walking through an art museum looking at Kandinsky paintings.
Sure.
And
Junk is fun. Junk is fun.
It looks fun. I'm hoping that it's, I'm building it up too much in my own head, but I'm,
It's a good album.
It should be fun.
It's a good album.
I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Sweet.
Before it gets too late, do you want to do the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the
I was
movie?
hoping
Yeah, we should talk
to
about
get
the
into
movie.
that.
All
I was
right.
feeling the same way.
So we watched. Last week after the episode, I made plans with a friend who could not be here tonight. Shout out to Jade. That we were going to watch David Lynch's film Mulholland Drive, and Taylor said, "Oh, let's watch. Me and McKinley can watch that, and we'll talk about it on the show." So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. You
We
guys had
did.
never seen it before, had you?
We had never seen it before.
Not a once.
I have seen it once, and now I have seen it twice, and yeah. So let's talk about this movie. What was Mulholland Drive about, guys?
Oh no! Oh no!
It was about an actress
Found our weakness.
that got really jealous and made a deal with forces that she didn't understand, and regretted it. Also about a strange sorceress that we don't get to know anything more about, except she wants people to be quiet and owns a really weird box that she gives out way too easily and to too many people. Also, old people are creepy and joyful.
Creepy old people.
Creepy old- Check that
Also,
one off.
Billy Ray Cyrus is against domestic violence.
Yeah, let's get that in. That's the real meaning of the movie.
My friend live tweeted while watching this.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Watching Mulholland Drive, and wow, this is one of the movies ever. Fuck yeah, shoot the vacuum. No witnesses to vacuum crime.
Oh, that's what he thought.
Man, I can't agree with golf, but what a legend. He was hitting the car.
Yeah.
God, this acting scene is so good. What the hell? In retrospect, this acting scene is an absolute Vegas thing to say about the movie. Gay. Oh, wait, actually gay?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does gay sex turn you Italian? Is that what's happening? Okay, I definitely understand what's happening now. Haha, what? Okay, yeah, perfect movie, no complaints. So, yeah.
This concludes our review of
That was Jade's
David
input.
Lynch's mysterious noir
Pulp Fiction.
adventure mystery, the aptly titled "L.A. Sucks."
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
McKinley, what are your thoughts about this movie?
Ask me what it's about again.
Hey, McKinley. What's Mulholland
This is the
Drive
thing
about?
Mulholland Drive. It's about having a nightmare in LA. That's what it's about. That's fundamentally what it is. Yeah, it's kind of a it's a slow-paced mystery story, I would say, until it develops a heavy coating of surrealism. There's an element midway through that sort of shakes up the whole movie pretty hard. I guess we should say spoilers for Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, spoilers. You never see those detectives again.
Yeah. The second people to speak words in the film. We found this in the car. You already told me that. I don't know. I thought it'd be good for the investigation.
Yeah, but the audience wasn't here yet.
Yeah, weird stuff, weird exposition, weird movie. Yeah,
Weird movie, folks.
one could say. Yeah, midway through, there's a serious change of pace as we go back to what are presumably the events leading up to the mystery. Only one of the characters are played by one of the actors from earlier.
Yeah.
In a bridge of logic that is never completely explored.
You say that. Wait. I'm gonna recommend if you're not understanding the movie, wait 6 months, watch it again.
There we go.
And
There we go.
I understand it so much better the second time.
Interesting.
We were walking over here, and I was saying...
that sounds really arrogant. Like, I don't claim
Sure.
to understand a David Lynch movie, but I understand it
yeah,
better.
One of the
you're
things you're not allowed
afraid of
to
the
say.
backlash. You're afraid of the comments there.
We must-
You understand.
One must never say on the internet that one understands a David Lynch art piece. It's not allowed. It's heresy.
Yeah, and this is, to your knowledge, the first of this guy's art that you've consumed.
I've seen little pieces of Twin Peaks, but
right,
yeah.
that's right.
Wow.
And his
You were
Instagram.
asking about that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
So yeah,
His
tried to
really
understand
weird paintings.
that. Oh, anyway, we were walking over here, and I was saying I hope that's the case. I hope Nate, having had seen it twice, has gained some perspective that he can bring to our discussion.
Does is Camilla sucked inside that little box? Is that what happens?
So,
Also, why
do you want
does,
me to explain the movie,
what's the
or do you
deal
want me
with
to let
Betty
you figure
just
out
being
the
gone?
movie?
Where's Betty?
Should
Where's
think
Betty
about it.
go? She's just gone. Was she in her
Diane.
imagination the whole time? No, she's not Diane.
Okay. Also, Diane's hair.
Pretty good.
The waitress. Diane's hair. It's good.
Yeah, best haircut in the movie.
we
Waitress
were
Diane.
we were talking about the time period. by
And
the way.
waitress
Finding
Betty.
it
That's
difficult.
another thing where it's like the movie's saying like,
Okay,
oh,
that's a clue.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
clue.
That's a clue.
Yeah.
dumb.
Previously.
So
Diane.
the box is a plot device.
Right.
Oh, a literal device.
It's a literal plot
Powers the
device.
plot.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff.
So like the first half of the movie, I guess it's more like 2/3, is not real.
Okay. Then why is
Wow.
it in the movie?
Major spoilers.
This is my interpretation.
Okay,
The first
you're
half,
right.
the first 2/3 of the movie are not real, and what happens in the last bit of the movie is explaining this is Betty's perspective. Her name isn't Betty. It's but
Gotcha.
Diane goes on a head trip where she gets to meet a magical girl, and
that's her dream.
right.
Like that's what she wish happens.
Okay.
In reality, we get all of this, the actual shit that she went through, and leading
But
to.
as part
yeah.
of the dream, we have these other vignettes like movie director's miserable life.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder how that plays into things because he
It's
exists.
just
in
more
the-
what she wishes
in the last
wishes was
third, too.
happening to the director, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Instead of
hated
him
him.
being
This makes sense.
successful.
She
he's
hated him for being
chased
with
by bad
Camilla.
people, and
Yeah.
he's broke now, and somebody
good.
else sleeps with his
pretty
wife, and yeah.
Not only is he not married to her, he has a wife who he's
Who
married
hates
to,
him.
who hates him and is
Sleeping with Billy Ray Cyrus.
And is
Billy
not
Ray
afraid
Cyrus.
to jump. Is not afraid to jump on top of a 7-foot tall man stomping around her house.
Yes.
And just start wailing on him.
Hey, I've met people that are basically that same size of person who
With that gumption.
do the
I
same
love it.
thing. Yeah.
It's like a frilled lizard,
That's-
really, because
that-
she's saying, "Get out of my house."
Yeah, that's
You're
one of
not
the
supposed to be
realest
here."
characters
That's
in the film.
And
do you-
how
do you-
low is that bar, Taylor?
Do you want to talk about the assassination scene?
I very much do. I would call it the most amusing standalone scene in the movie.
It's pretty good.
Probably the
it's
most amusing
amazing.
scene in the movie.
It's amazing.
Period. Yeah. Yeah. Very Pulp Fiction reminiscent.
Yeah, there's an assassination that goes wrong in a.
It's like, okay,
hotel
I
apartment
got
building.
he shoots a guy.
Yeah.
He's cleaning the gun. He puts the gun in the guy's hand. He's cleaning the trigger. It fires, hits somebody through the wall. He's like, "Oh man."
Aw man that's
Verbatim.
the theme
That's the line.
Verbatim.
Also, it's the theme of that whole sequence. Is, oh man.
Yeah.
So he goes to
going
the
on?
other room. There's this huge woman. She's like, "Something bit me in my ass." So he has to kill her. He drags her into the room. There's a cleaning man who sees him dragging her into the room.
So he says, "Hey, come here. She's hurt. Help."
He shoots them both, lays them on the ground,
Also, the vacuum.
and the vacuum. Yes, gotta shoot the vacuum. No vacuum.
The vacuum
crimes.
was
No,
left on by the dying security man.
No, cleaning man. He's a
cleaning man, yeah. And the guy with the gun goes, "No, can't have that." Shoots the vacuum.
Yes. And then he puts the gun and the guy he just killed to make it that guy look like he killed himself.
Setup. It's real smooth.
It was a suicide. It was a suicide.
Yeah.
And then the smoke from the vacuum
Triggers the fire
triggers
alarm.
the fire alarm. And he has to hobble out the window going, "Oh, man."
I was about to say, and also triggers a final, "Oh, man."
All to steal some
kinda
mysterious book that is never talked about again.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
The
Yeah.
history of the world in phone numbers.
That's good. It's a good line. Works on its own.
It's the what's that word? It's not a suitcase. It's not a
MacGuffin?
no
Briefcase?
briefcase.
Yeah.
Briefcase. It's the
Coming out
briefcase
of
from
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction.
Fiction.
We found ourselves comparing these two movies. Like Pulp Fiction, it includes a number of intertwining but mostly unrelated storylines taking place around the same town, involving the same criminal elements and, rising tension, but ultimately just kind of weaving around. And there's a big temporal twist halfway through. So, yeah.
What did you think of the movie, Taylor?
It was pretty good.
What?
I got to.
I watched that movie with you.
It's a mess. It's a mess. That movie's a hot mess.
Yeah, that was your choice of words.
But it's still fun.
10
It's
minutes
a
ago.
fun movie. I recommend it over Halle Berry's Catwoman for sure, which I also watched this week.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
High praise from Taylor.
No, it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. It's a hot mess. I am very suspect of David Lynch's credit. But I'll postpone any final judgment until I've seen more of his movies.
That's fair.
Because I'm
That's
fairly confident that I'll enjoy all
That's
of
a
his
weird one to
movies.
start on, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confident that you're never going to walk into a David Lynch movie and walk out less entertained than you entered.
Yeah. Although, needless to say, this is a slow-paced movie.
It has
This is
room to
a-
breathe. Yeah,
Yeah,
it gives
there's
you
plenty
room
of
to
room to
breathe.
There's a lot of cuts back and forth between close-up shots of faces.
A scene where someone drinks a cappuccino in a David Lynch film is very complicated.
That was pretty great. I liked that scene.
Napkin.
That was good.
Pardon. Napkin. Excuse me. Napkin.
Will that
Will
be
that
all?
be all, sir?
Silence. Awkward shuffle away. Good stuff.
And that was... yeah.
Chekhov's Golf Club.
That was great. That was great. Yeah, there's a scene where a film director gets pissed and swings a golf club at a limo, then drives home. When he arrives, he takes his golf club in and just drops it in a golf bag full of clubs that's next
By
to
the
the door.
door.
Yeah, I love that touch.
He has it in the boardroom with him.
Yeah.
It's his emotional support club.
Yes. Yes. The acting scene, the audition scene.
Right. Is that the acting scene from
Yes.
the famous tweet? I assume so. Yeah. I, just as we were discussing the movie, I wound up with Mulholland Drive film on Google, and here's a couple of critic reviews before we get into that. The first one, if you like movies that make sense, Mulholland Drive isn't for you. And the second one describes it as a bona fide masterpiece, an erotic, deeply unsettling, darkly comic journey through the subconscious city of night.
That's an apt description.
That's interesting. And there are a couple of...
Very pretentious, but yeah, I agree with that. Those were words that describe the movie.
They're all in the direct family. What's the acting scene?
Right. So like
piece of the puzzle is
Betty's
this?
an actress,
Uh-huh.
an aspiring actress.
Uh-huh.
She's in LA to house sit, but she's really there to be discovered.
Ooh.
Right.
She's this naive girl from Canada.
Yeah.
And she goes. We see her like playing the scene with Camilla. Well, we don't know her name is Camilla,
Sure.
but
She rehearses it earlier.
she rehearses it, and
it's
it's like
kind of-
it seems really cheesy and awful.
I think we should lay the groundwork here though by saying that the actual dialogue of the movie we're watching is often a little stilted,
Yes.
delivered a little I don't know, dazed, unnaturalistic.
Yeah.
Yes. There's actually in the scene where she's getting dropped off at the airport, they actually they use dubbed audio to make it seem like that on purpose.
Make it seem faker.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, it's the tools of the trade. So that's the firmament. That's the base foundation of the movie on which you're watching. On top of that, we have another layer of cake in that we've seen this scene rehearsed. The characters show, the actress rehearsing it shows really more emotion than she has in the movie so far, but she derides the scene as pretty cheesy and pretty bad. Then she performs the same scene a second time.
And it's just
You're
all
speed.
out emotional tension. Same lines, same everything. It's just with
But they're really building this. They're
Yeah.
really selling you.
They're selling the
on
scene.
the acting of the moment.
acting.
And the other characters applaud.
But like that's also I think
the
is
director's like,
supporting evidence. Supporting well, he's a director.
Yeah.
They're making fun of directors.
I know.
It's kind of satirical.
That's the
But this is
second.
her fantasy.
This is her fantasy,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
she's like this. It's like she's in her dream. She's a wonderful, wonderful, and just awe-inspiring actress, and everyone.
The center of attention in the room.
She goes to her first audition and just blows them away.
Well, and that's also part of the fantasy. Then the scene before the scene, right? Because when they're rehearsing, Camilla's presented as obviously worse of an actor than Betty.
That's true.
As well.
That's true. When in the latter half of the movie,
You find out,
Camilla's
right.
the successful actor.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool.
I like the theory that you have, Nate. It's a good theory. It's solid.
This is developed. Solid. Now, after she leaves this audition, which seems to have gone great, she's told that basically the picture is going to be a wash, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an
I
interesting
feel
layer
like
to
that's
this
just kind of
dream
like
world thing.
a weird manipulating actors tactic that they just it's a weird Hollywood thing.
Yeah. Plenty of weird Hollywood things. There's I guess you would call it a satire of just the corporate structure around Hollywood, especially in regards to these strange, shady dealings, goings on, phone calls from the higher ups.
David Lynch will never pass up an opportunity to say "fuck you" to corporate, like
to Hollywood,
corporate media bureaucracy, Hollywood bureaucracy.
Yeah. This movie I think was generally pretty biting here. If I walking away from it instantly 10 seconds after the credits roll, I'm thinking, okay, so the major themes here are LA sucks. The major themes here are a bright, starry-eyed, naive girl comes to the big city to be an actor, and there's crime everywhere happening as this bizarre orchestrated plot. The one who decides whether your movie lives or dies lives behind a weird glass screen and barely talks to anyone. Directors are psychopaths. Everyone is, There's mystery and crime. And initially she meets, again, like Dream Girl. She meets this beautiful woman that she falls in love with and has amnesia and has so much mystery attached to her. I can help you. And it's her trying to... I think that's an important character decision that we talked about, is not calling the cops or the paramedics or anything. And it's just like, I'm starting my adventure where I help this girl. She clearly kind of sees herself as as the hero there.
Who
Then it all
doesn't
goes downhill.
fantasize that some magical person appears in their house and you have to help them figure out a mystery and have a new friend /
All at
lover
the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But as things continue to go darkly downhill, you find out the seedy underbelly. Your naivety is exposed once you've lived in the filth and the squalor and the struggle for so long. Everything becomes a weird nightmare of petty jealousy and a haze of conversations at diners and not understanding who you are and having to move the rights to your tiny apartment around and passing ashtrays back and forth and like having a fantasy that you're in love and being told no. And finally at the very end, the excitable, wholesome out-of-towners who are just happy to be in LA, who are just like you at the very beginning of the movie. What do? They come in and they terrorize you. Because as a LA resident, if you're living on Mulholland Drive for so many years, you see these people and you think they're vermin, they're pests, right? The happy, excitable types who just want to see LA are enough to make you want to shoot yourself. And that's what happens in the last scene of this movie. You've done a full 180 on how you feel about these people who you used to be one of. They now haunt you, make you scream, clutch at your head, and beg for it to stop. And you can't get a job or something.
Other scene I want to talk about, obviously, the big scene at the end. Mm-hmm. The Club Silencio.
Yeah,
Silencio. Yes. Pronunciation.
A long performance taking place in the middle of this.
It's a big clue. It's probably the most obvious David Lynch's throughout the entire film is in that scene.
Interesting. It's all in there. It's all wrapped up there. Yeah, because it's a unique situation where an artist and a storyteller is standing on a stage looking at an audience and saying pretty bluntly what he means, right? He's talking about there is no band, there's no instrument. Yeah, it reads almost like being force-fed clues.
Yes. Right. But it's a powerful scene too. Like when the singer falls over, it's just oof. It's the rug is pulled out from underneath you.
That hit a little bit.
Yeah.
Because of the audio continuing, that makes it a really impactful moment. Just audio visually, just as an experience. Any thoughts? Club Silencio?
I liked the singer
struggle for
falling
something
over
positive to say.
It's just this is all a tape recording. It was good. It was like, hey, yeah. I don't know. It was a little
over the top.
Not so much over the top as I don't know. I'm looking for a better word than needless. But
a little pretension.
Yeah, no, that and the scene in the diner about the dream that the dude had twice, I think, were two scenes that you could most afford to cut from the movie and have nothing
Well,
change.
they're the most abstract, you could say.
Maybe.
They're the most obviously disconnected from the capital P plot.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, 2 or 3 scenes you really enjoyed, the botched assassination would be up there. But honestly, the diner, mostly monologue, but just the conversation in the diner and the visiting the back of the diner, that was
there was
a great
some real
standalone
tension
scene.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was exciting. It was interesting. It has all these little details about being half night or sort of night, and there's like just memorable lines like that. The appearance of the creature or whatever out back, the witch. What'd you call it, sorceress?
No, the sorceress isn't the sorceress is the weird blue person at the end of the movie.
Right. Who was seen briefly at the Silencio performance.
Yeah.
The use of the color blue,
Yep.
obviously classically very important, just as much as you'd expect. There's a series of keys, boxes, all this kind of stuff. Interestingly, this plot device that we mentioned, the little blue box, right after our character seemingly gets sucked into it. That's how I interpreted it. Gets pulled into the blue box.
It's weird, yeah.
Right after that, we're treated with a scene of the other main character, you could say, Betty, in a room with blue walls, and there's a blue house key. So it's like, okay, there's clearly a connection being drawn here, a box key, a blue, this, that. But this mysterious figure in the Silencio performance has a blue wig. What's the connection?
It's a good question. I don't know.
It's clear.
I don't know
It's
all of it.
clearly a clue, right?
I liked the scene with Diane making coffee and staring out the window. That was good. That was good.
Reminds me of K. Flay's Dark Period.
No, sure, sure. No, that was fun. I like the shots there. I like
The camera does
it's
some
a
fun
cause,
things.
Yeah, because and also just that crawl in on her just staring out the window over the sink, and it's right after it's the first scene that we're seeing Diane alive after the last time we saw her. She'd blown her face off and was just in a bed with a blown off face, and then you cut back and the cowboy is saying, "Hey, time to wake up now," and she's fine, and she wakes up and she's just standing over the sink staring out the window, and the camera's crawling in, and you're still not sure what's happening because you're in a David Lynch movie. She could turn around and her face is blown off again. Who knows? But
Taylor knows what to expect in David Lynch.
but no, that doesn't happen. She then just turns around and makes a cup of coffee, and yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Also, I'd like to note that this movie came out right after 9/11.
Wow.
Interesting.
By right after, like a couple weeks.
Let me look up. Let me look it up.
Okay.
Like in
okay.
November.
See, I'm glad you mentioned the cowboy, because I would have been remiss if I went through this whole discussion without just the character of
October
the cowboy.
19th.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's post 9/11 America. How would they take this? How would anyone take this?
Which means the movie is still made pre 9/11.
Well, sure,
Right.
sure, but like, it's
Yeah.
just it feels
When it hits culturally.
Yeah. It's interesting. So Alan Watts thought that zebras were yellow, and I don't know what to do with that.
All right, it's been a good run. Leaving the show. I'm done. I'm done with the show. We've actually officially talked about everything. It's over. So we've exhausted our resources.
Have you heard this?
No.
Have you heard Alan Watts go on about how nobody can tell whether a zebra is yellow with black stripes or black with yellow stripes? Because I have. And I don't know what to do
And
with
he goes
this.
on.
Yeah. It's in the middle of a pretty good...
Does
I
he
was
say
listening to
zebra?
No, he says zebra. He says zebra, and he says yellow with black stripes.
I think. Oh wait, yes.
Or black
I think I have
with
heard this.
yellow
I think I have
stripes.
seen it's like a yellowish zebra.
I wouldn't.
before.
Yeah, I
think
wouldn't
it's-
correct
I think
him.
it exists.
The zebras I've seen out there,
They're not pure
in fact,
white.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the first time at a zoo or something like that.
Like, you know how
I-
a blonde horse is kind of yellowish?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like that.
I've seen zebras up close. They're white.
Well, guys, Taylor's right. And
Alan
Watts
Watts
is
go.
has
wrong.
only ever seen a dirty zebra.
What's a dirty zebra?
They're covered in
Invisible
piss.
with yellow and black stripes.
And red all over.
Yeah.
So yeah, where'd you see a zebra, Taylor?
What? We're going to talk about how terrible
We're gonna
zoos are
talk
now.
about it. We're gonna take a swing.
What a
We
great
saw a
segue.
perfectly white zebra.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was perfectly.
We
white.
try.
You like zoos, Nate?
I like to see animals, but I
Me
don't like
too.
zoos.
Yeah, same. I was at a zoo not terribly long ago, and it's just I was invited to this zoo, and I was like, I like animals.
Was it the
Go to a
Kansas City Zoo?
It was the Kansas City Zoo.
Well, there's your
Which is
problem.
just one of the worst looking zoos. I've only ever been to
It's
the
not
Kansas
that
City Zoo.
bad.
And if it's not that bad, then I definitely hate all zoos. Because,
That was your
They
first
have
problem. You
pretty
came
big
liking
enclosures.
animals, I'm telling you.
yeah, they pretty big enclosures, but also not all of the
But
enclosures. Like
there's the word there, enclosure. That's the
Yeah.
part I have a problem.
Little
with.
telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, they got a new polar bear, and
What?
they got a new polar
Again?
bear. Yeah, they've got 2 polar bears now. They still have the old polar bear, but here's the sad thing. So the new polar bear is there, and it's like jumping in the water and showing off to all the kids that are screeching and having a good time of it. And you got the old polar bear, who's just you can kind of see part of his head as he's just laying.
Maybe,
Out of
Maybe he
view.
was just napping. Maybe
He was
just having
awake.
Okay.
He was awake.
He just kind of pops his head up occasionally, looks over at the other polar bear, puts his head back down.
Oh.
It's just depressing. It's just like, wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow, we've got our new polar bear that everybody's proud of, and the
And then
polar
there's
bear
you.
that knows things
Yeah,
that
it's
the new polar
desensitized to
bear
the zoo,
doesn't
I'm
know
telling you.
yet.
We touched on this earlier, but I wanted to get into it here.
Okay.
The politics of attention in a zoo, because every animal, you can tell, like, just realistically, the longer it stays in the zoo, the more it's seen eager humans trying to get its attention, right?
Yeah.
Trying to interact with it in some way, call it out, coax it. The more it's exposed to that kind of thing, the more it's numb to it, the less it's likely to respond to these kind of calls. And the more that happens, the louder and more obnoxious and more desperate people have to do to try and like bang on the glass and get attention from these things.
And the
So-
longer its environment stays the same, like the longer it's there, the longer it
more it's
is
kinda
experiencing
sedentary
no
and-
change.
Yeah,
Like,
interesting.
Do they still have loose peacocks in the Kansas City Zoo?
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't see any.
Because when I was a child and I went to the Kansas City Zoo, they had loose peacocks. They were just running around in a certain area.
That's cool.
And I just thought that was the norm. So when I was playing Zoo Tycoon, I was just plopping down some peacocks, just not in a cage. And all the people in my zoo were freaking out. It's like, wait, what's wrong? It's a peacock. That's normal. That's what zoos do.
It's a game about zoos. How do they not have this peacock thing in
Good
there?
old Zoo Tycoon.
That's good.
Did you ever do the? You must have, right? It's like everyone who's played The Sims has trapped their sim in the pool and figured out all the ways that you can kill your sims, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you play Zoo Tycoon,
Release the lions.
no, that's Bush League. What you do?
Make an
This is what me
enclosure
and
for
my
the
sister.
people.
This is what me and my sister Amber from last week's episode would do.
Shout outs.
You find out that the pathfinding AI for these zoo visitors is very simple, and it's very easy to kind of to get them walking down a path of enclosure fence. And then you can get them walking down this little maze into an enclosure that you then just drop a fence into. You
block
close them
them
off.
in.
You block them in. And then you can you drop some concession stands inside this enclosure, and you give them food, and you give them stuffed animals, and make them very happy. You get their mood to maximum contentment. Then you take a look at what their favorite animal is. And then you just put 5 of their favorite animal in the enclosure with them. And you just watch. And so during the course of one day, I remember me and my sister had this zoo where we just had this grid of like 8 different people in adjacent square enclosures. They were all very happy. And then we just looked at what all their favorite animals were. And some of them, it was like a peacock. And so you drop some peacocks in with them, and they're still very happy.
The
And they're
horrified
just
look on
walking
Nate's
around with
face
some
right
peacocks.
now. For the folks
But
at home,
some
it's
of them really like
priceless.
tigers.
It's priceless.
And so they're just in this enclosure. And you know how Zoo Tycoon works. You know the animations. And so this person is just in a repeating hell of getting picked up and thrown in the air by alternating tigers
That they love.
that they love. A lot of fun can be had with Zoo Tycoon. It's a good
That's
game.
what
Go
happens. Nobody's getting mauled in there.
buy it. Well, you
They're just
can't
throwing
die
each
in
other.
Zoo Tycoon.
I never played.
You don't get mauled by the tiger. It picks you up, spins, shakes you around, throws you in the air. You fall on the ground. You get up and you keep running from the tigers. They chase you until they catch you, and then they throw
That's
you in
good.
the air, and you rinse and repeat.
What if there's nowhere to run?
Yeah, that you just get
This is
thrown
terrifying.
in the air endlessly.
This is terrifying.
Yeah. Did you ever do that, Nate?
No.
You took the one game that was about taking care of animals, and you made it
The
about
animals were very
taking
happy.
care of the people.
Yeah. The animals are happy. We never did anything cruel to those animals. No, we wouldn't. No, we didn't let the animals out. You know why?
That's
because
Bush
when you
League.
let the animals out, no, the zoo security shows up and they shoot the animals with the stupid sleep darts and put them in little cages. It's terrible. It was very distressing to little me. I did not like watching that. You know what's fun to watch?
People
Ragdoll
contained in
physics.
tiny
Yeah,
enclosures.
ragdoll physics is pretty great.
All their needs met.
Yeah, it was fun. Just a little menagerie of zoo patrons. It's good. It's fun. Zoo Tycoon, good stuff. Zoo Tycoon 2000, was that the? Were there numbers on these things?
I played Zoo Tycoon 2, I believe.
It was probably Zoo Tycoon 2. Drop the 1000. It's a fun game.
Not The Sims.
Roller Coaster Tycoon is just boring as hell. Terrible.
Really?
Terrible game. Not worth
You need to
buying.
build coasters, right? Out of your
Yeah,
own
why-
design. I
You
don't
heard
know.
it here
And then
first,
watch
folks.
other people
played
ride
Roller
them.
Coaster Tycoon is terrible. It's a terrible game.
And watch
Don't-
other
don't
people.
play it. Don't
Why would
bother.
you? Why?
It's
why?
a first-person
No.
view, surely.
Not in the old ones, at least. And also, why? Like, why would you want to watch?
Because technology used to be a lot worse.
Right. Well, yeah, I remember when it was brand new on the Worlds of Fun website that you could watch 3D simulations of each of the roller
Hey.
coasters viewed from the front
There you go.
row of the roller coaster. That was kind of cool. Seemed pretty cool. Got to watch the roller coaster ride. Seemed pretty cool. And that's the only way I've experienced the Prowler ever. I still haven't ridden the Prowler.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the best one there.
I hear it's like the Timberwolf, but not shaky, and so I lost interest.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
But isn't it also like one of the fastest non-inverted roller coasters? And they have to say non-inverted because like the Patriot's a little faster because it goes 70 miles per hour, and the Prowler goes 60, but the
It's
Prowler
the best roller
runs on a
coaster in the
track.
park.
Is it? Okay.
It's the best one.
I'll ride it next time I go. I'll probably go sometime this year, and because people like to go to Worlds of Fun. I hate Worlds of Fun.
Hey, you want to ride the Mamba?
It's great.
Hey, we gotta go
great.
ride the Mamba.
Go ride the Wamba.
It's you gotta do it.
It's so
You
boring.
guys have such strong opinions about individual roller coasters.
No, the Mamba is boring, legit. Like, it's fun the first time because you've never been that high in the air in a roller coaster before.
I mean, I
and you
find
go
it
down the
terrifying
thing.
and awful, but
Really?
that's me.
I don't know. I thought it was a little scary the first time, but also, I don't know. I have the same problem with roller coasters that I have with horror movies, where it's like, okay, you lose
It's
the
a
game if this
challenge.
scares you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're riding it with other people. So it can scare you, but it can't scare you more than anyone else that you're riding the roller coaster
Anyone.
with. Anyone. And so, like, yeah.
Amazing.
And also, well, but also I've ridden the Mamba with people that were scared of the Mamba. And like, we'll be going down the thing and I'm looking over at the person and I'm just thinking, really? Like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like maybe showing a little bit more distress than I'm showing right now. But I wouldn't show that much distress. What are you doing? I feel like being at the, when you're at a party or anywhere where alcohol is and you're watching these people that are acting drunk and you're just like, you're not as drunk as you're acting. No, you're getting off on the ability to act like an idiot because you're holding a drink.
Yeah.
I get that same feeling sometimes on roller coasters, depending on who I'm riding with, where I'm like, no, you're not scared.
Can you really knock
You're
them,
enjoying
though,
the
for having
excuse
fun?
to scream.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's not genuine.
That's a good question.
Like, if you're actually scared of the roller coaster, I won't judge somebody for being scared of a roller coaster. I will judge someone for using the roller
If it's
coaster
not for your
as a
own
performative
benefit.
outlet to scream and act scared. Because if you want to do that, just scream. You don't have to be on a roller coaster to do that. I won't judge you for just screaming. Like, if we're at Walmart and you need to let something out, I won't shame you for just screaming at the top of your lungs in Walmart. It's what Walmart's for.
But if you scream on a roller coaster, shame. You're misusing the park as a device.
Yeah. Come on.
The hills
Be
that
honest.
Taylor dies on.
There are tombstones with your name on them everywhere. On every rolling hill in the nation.
I've never ridden the detonator.
Me either.
I refuse.
There you go. What kind of time we
It
got?
will break my legs.
It just goes up and down. Yeah, it did break somebody's thigh bone.
Jeez.
Apparently. At least I was told that by somebody at a zoo.
Yeah. So in summary,
Zoos.
zoos suck. Some roller coasters suck. Some roller coasters are really good.
Some roller coaster patrons suck.
Zoo Tycoon's really good and Roller Coaster Tycoon sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
And watch out for joggers.
Right.
Anything else you really wanna address? Want to take a swing at?
Let's see. There was one thing. Oh, yeah. So you hear about pooping technique?
That's all the time we have for tonight.
No, I heard this thing that I'm
It's
really
10:04.
curious about.
Okay.
I'm not
Please do
sure if
not
I want
waste
to
my
modify
time.
my behavior accordingly, but I saw like in a comment section on the thing that they were like, if you make sure that your cheeks are spread when you're pooping, you're not going to have to wipe as much. And I was like, that could actually be really good advice. Could be really good advice. Could be. Stands to reason. Stands to reason. But I'm not sure if I want to actually test it out because, like,
Why not? What do you
Really?
have to lose?
well, because it
Yeah.
might not work, and I'm just like consciously making sure my cheeks are more spread when I'm pooping because of something somebody told a bunch of anonymous people to do
So
in
you'd
a.
rather go to a
comment
public
section.
forum, consult your friends, your
Well, it wasn't
consultants.
about pooping. It
trying
was just
to-
a random
No,
comment
what you're doing
in
right now.
the group where
What you're
we.
doing- instead of saying I'll try it once,
Yeah.
you're like,
Well, if you try it once, that's
wait a
not
week and we'll
definitive
discuss it.
proof of anything.
Yeah,
You'd
gotta
have
do
to
this
like
thing
make sure you're
scientifically.
doing it for like an entire week
Okay.
and then see if you're using more toilet paper or less. So ideally, you would take a week
See
where
what
you're
we can find
monitoring how much toilet paper you use,
It's called a control group.
right?
Yeah.
And then you try the new technique, and you're measuring how much toilet paper you use. That's how you test it.
Have you ever heard the expression?
You'd have to maintain the same diet, though. Which
That's
of
also-
course,
More
for,
trouble
for you,
than it's
Taylor,
worth.
that probably wouldn't be too much of a problem.
Not too much of a problem, no.
That's I don't mean that in a harsh way. I'm just being truthful.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did this come up?
The group where we give bad advice.
Really?
On Facebook.
Really? So you
Yeah.
found this advice on a group where we give bad advice.
Yeah, no, it was about somebody was asking how do I take less painful period shits,
Uh-huh.
and somebody said, make sure you
Yes.
spread more, and that way you won't have to wipe as much.
In the
Which
vein
is
of
unrelated to
bad
taking
advice.
a more or less painful bowel movement. And then somebody commented below that, this is OOC though, which
A different
OOC
person.
out of character means
Yeah,
this is actual advice.
non-sarcastic,
Yeah, this is actual good advice.
It just got you thinking.
And I was
huh?
just like, huh, yeah.
Just got the wheels in motion.
Got me thinking. I was like, maybe.
So the next time you're having your period, Taylor,
Yeah.
you'll have to try this out.
Gonna have to try it out next time I hit my period. How many times have you guys whispered
That
to
was a little
yourselves righty-tighty, lefty-loosey?
Aloud?
Yes. Because I haven't. But I saw a internet post that
I would
said...
struggle to do that aloud.
Yeah, I saw an internet post that said
I would think
people
of it
people don't
sometimes.
tell you growing up how many times you're going to silently whisper to yourself righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And I was kind of looking at it like, ah. And then someone next to me was like, so true. And I was like, what? What
It's the specific whispering you take issue with, though. You don't ever happen to remember. You don't remember that phrase. You use it mentally. To
I
keep track
kind
of
of
things.
like I'll remember it, but it's never before I'm tightening or loosening something.
I
It's
do it.
while I'm tightening or loosening something, but I've already made the decision on which direction I'm turning for which function before I hear the phrase.
It happens.
Okay.
It happens.
It has a presence in your life, silently whispering.
Interesting.
There you go.
That answers that.
That's science. You found what you were looking for.
True. Yeah, I think that's all I've got.
Do we need to wrap up for McKinley's health?
We can wrap up for
Be
McKinley's
excellent.
health. He's got a
I had
hard
what they
out.
call a long night, and I'm sick.
Oh no.
For some sympathy points on the internet.
Oh no.
Let's call it a day. Yeah, you
If I leave in time, I can get Taco Bell.
Hey. You don't even have to leave in time to get Taco Bell. Taco Bell's open forever. God damn it.
Pro tip: Taco Bell open forever.
They never close.
And this week, Jack in the Box too. I discovered.
You're about to hit me. Please don't hit me.
I won't hit you, Nate.
Thanks.
Not on camera. He'll show up with those bruises for an unrelated incident.
Do it, McKinley. Do it.
We've had some laughs.
Do it. Do it. Yeah.
We shed some tears.
Not many.
It's just a couple. Just a couple real sad lesbian Lynchian tears. We've had some confusing times on Mulholland Drive. We've had some good times.
We talked about
M83.
poop and roller coasters.
We learned what the inside of Taylor's brain is like for the 25th consecutive week.
I was horrified.
It's amazing, isn't it, that there's still ways to shock us after all this time. But there are still ways. Just remember, if you're 4 years old, please avoid responsibility like the plague.
Absolutely.
The more composed and restrained you could be, the better. Learn how to be emotionless now. It'll pay off in the future. Thank you very much for joining us. And I speak mostly to all of you, of course, but thanks to the founder of the feast and the pilot of the ship, Taylor, recurring guest and ultimate all-star, Nate, and to myself. My name's McKinley, speaking for the Saturday Night live stream. We've been pretty good enough. We're signing off. We have no producer, so I'm going to scramble off screen and find a way to shut off the stream. Keep playing. Give yourself the time.
Yes, here we are. And I'm gonna say some nonsense words now.
It's been a show, everybody. Good night. Good night.
I think you have to hit the exit end stream. Did you hit the stop? Did you hit the end stream button? The gigantic end stream button? What about did you hit the stop? Did you stop the stream on OBS? Stop streaming right there.